Test, test. Test, test. Test, 1, 2, 3.
We'll start with Jesse, and then we'll have Luis Robles right after. Questions for Jesse?
Yeah. 14 now that you guys have given the first goal out of 7. Is that starting to become a troubling trend for you guys?
What was troubling about tonight, I'm not so focused on the first goal part as much as I am just having a really bad start to a game where we wanted to make sure we had a good start and we're on top of the match from the beginning. I think maybe that we thought this was going to be an easier game than it was. Credit to Colorado. I think we knew that they were going to come here and fight and battle and make it hard, and they did. They definitely earned that draw. And so, that was the part that was frustrating a little bit, is that we just didn't come out and command the game like we need to.
Jesse, it looked like your two center backs, especially Paranel, had a lot of trouble with Colorado's speed. What adjustments did you make throughout the game to shut that down?
Well, we talked about they were definitely looking to counter us with speed, and we talked about making sure that the center backs, once we lost the ball, didn't put themselves on one-on-one situations, but that the two of them dealt with it together. And then, they did a good job, and they do have fast guys that made it hard on us. So, they certainly now they try to put Baji near Damien and try to now counter there with speed. In the end, he made some plays and prevented them from scoring. Luis came up with a couple big saves. They, to be fair, they did a good job of sitting back, trying to make it hard on us, trying to clog the center of the midfield, winning balls, playing forward quickly, and trying to catch us on the counter. That was their game plan, and it almost worked.
Is there any aspect of this where you think you guys looked at the standings and presumed that this team wasn't as good or wouldn't put up the effort that they did?
Yeah, I think probably that's part of it. We need to make sure that you guys, everyone in this room has been pretty kind to us so far, and written some nice things, and that's all great. And maybe we weren't focused enough. Maybe we were ahead of ourselves, right? And looking at the standings, looking at some articles, looking at what people are saying, whatever it is, and thinking that we're a better team than we are. If we want to be a good team, we have to stick to what we do well, and that is run hard, press, recover balls, play forward, compete, and I think that in a lot of those categories we were second best tonight. So credit to Colorado.
You look at the statistics from this game, 68, 69% possession, frustration level that you only got 5 shots on goal from all that possession, and most of it seemed to be kind of around the midfield stripe, maybe not quite as much as you'd like in the final third.
Yeah, there were a lot of plays that were close to coming off, but didn't, even up to the very end with Bradley's header. Yeah, we need to be, I think there were, and we created a lot of transition opportunities where I thought that we missed the first pass often to Bradley, and then we either went wide or made a mistake on the pass. And then some of our crossing was off, and we weren't getting enough numbers forward. I thought a lot of guys felt like the way to help the game on the day was to try to get balls to feet, which actually allowed them to close us down and then win balls and then counter. So, overall, we did have a command on the game. We were also a little bit lucky because they had some big chances. In the end, we need to be better. We need to be.
Yeah. Did you feel at all that combined with the LA game, do you feel like you've left some points on the table the last couple of games?
No doubt. I think we tried to take this one game at a time. If you now look back at it in the last 2 draws, I think that we feel like we should have won both. So that's 4 points left on the table. But even more than the points, I think, is just this was not the kind of game we wanted to play. We weren't quite sharp enough. We weren't quite playing fast enough, and we didn't put the game enough on our terms. So as much as I look at the results, I also look at the fact that this is probably the first game where we didn't really play like ourselves. Second half, we got a little bit better, and we almost created some chances that way. But we need to play like we want to play for 90 minutes.
Yeah, Jesse, last week same result, but you consider that one a step forward. What would you say about this? Is it a step backwards?
Yeah, it probably is a step backwards, but at the end, it's still a draw. So, and we're still undefeated. So we need to stay positive, and we've got a tough match coming on Saturday, and we've got to figure out how we're going to physically recover, and now make sure that we're ready to go to New England and get a result. I think we want to continue to move forward in both the way we play and in the results. So right now, focus is moving forward.
Jesse, just to look again at this sequence of games, and I think maybe the story around the team. Do you feel that with the way that teams are now preparing to face you, that you're being faced with a sort of fresh set of problems to solve now?
A little bit. It's a good observation. I think teams are sitting back now, trying to clog things, playing direct, playing forward, trying to counter us, inviting possession through the middle and looking to jump on us. 2 teams in a row have kind of done that. And at home, I think especially that'll be a factor more than on the road. And we've got to then figure out how to deal with it, both by being better with the ball in possession and creating more chances, and then also finding ways to press them even when they don't want to try to play and they're just going to play direct. And a lot of that, it has to do with some of the reactions when we lose the ball. Doing a better job of having the guys around the ball react quicker and go back and try and win it. Sometimes we did that in the second half and almost created opportunities. So, but yes, a little bit of a game plan against us. You saw in 2 games.
We'll go our last question to Christian.
Just want to ask you about the black armband. I saw the players on the team were wearing it, and now you're
Yeah.
wearing it one. Could you just expound on that?
Yeah, our trainer Albert Tariba, his grandfather passed away, and so he went back to Spain. So we tried to honor him and his family tonight.
Thanks,
Okay?
Jesse.
Thank you.
Raise your hand, and I will bring the microphone to you. Questions for Luis?
Luis, when you get a team with that much speed coming against you, what do you talk about even more with the center backs about coverage?
When we game planned for them, we thought there was 2 ways that they could score on us, on set pieces and balls over the top. And in the first half, they were dangerous. They utilized that. They were able to get a goal. And I was surprised that they didn't continue to do that in the second half.
Luis,
say what you left.
Yeah, Jesse alluded to the fact that maybe you guys overlooked this one. Maybe it was a trap game. You guys talked a lot about the fact that you guys have a chip on your shoulder. Do you think that was missing tonight?
It's tough to say. I really don't think that we overlooked it. I felt like the guys came out with the confidence that, yes, we were going to win, but we were going to put the work in for 90 minutes. And we don't do ourselves any favor when we give goals up at home, and now we're chasing the game down a goal. I think that changes the entire dynamic of the game. Instead of being able to pressure them in their half and find chances, now we're spraying balls over the top and at moments looking a little desperate.
Yeah, Luis, you have a very hectic schedule lately with a lot of games in a short period of time. Your lineups haven't changed that much. Do you think depth is a problem with this team, or do you have enough depth?
Not necessarily. I know that the coaches really wanted to experiment with some lineup changes this game, but a lot of the older players came in and said, no, we really want to play this game. And so we understood that there was a certain responsibility that came with that since we stepped up and said that. And of course, now we're going to have to examine ourselves and be critical of ourselves and understand that it just wasn't good enough tonight. But you can expect on the weekend that there will be some lineup changes, not because guys didn't play well enough, but because depth does exist on this team, and that guys are good enough to get a chance, and they're going to get a look in New England, a tough place to play.
Just following up on that, now you're going to be playing on AstroTurf, not for you totally, but some of the midfielders and forwards, what kind of changes do you expect that are going to happen?
Oh, I just love that turf. It's part of this league. We understand that there are some places that you have to deal with it, so there are no excuses. And as far as the schedule, it's the same thing. The way that the league and the schedule maker set it up, it's going to be a test. It's going to be a long season, and it's going to get even harder. So if we start making excuses now, then we start to do ourselves in. But I understand the character of this team, and I really believe that regardless who's in the starting lineup on Saturday, regardless of the conditions and who we're playing against, we're going to bring this sort of focus that's going to be able to get 3 points.
Do you think possibly you guys were looking ahead to that one, and also that you're looking at that one as a statement game, considering how last season ended up there?
To be perfectly honest with you, I do not believe that we overlooked this game. And the reason that the older players came in and said that they wanted to play this is because in the past we have overlooked teams. We have dropped points at home. And so we wanted to show that this is a different mentality. And unfortunately, we fell flat today.
Luis, I asked Jesse about this, about the fact that teams seem to be identifying what this Red Bull side are about now, and they're coming up with game plans for it. I mean, do you sort of feel that now the team has to find another level or another plan or innovation to deal with that?
We collectively understand that teams are starting to game plan a little more accurately against the way we play, but that's okay. We expect the sophistication to come out, and in the same sense, we'll make the necessary changes tactically to continue to be effective. But the one thing that we're not going to change is the effort that we expect. And if we feel like tonight wasn't good enough, then it's something that we'll continue to improve on and adjust.
All set, guys? All right. Thanks, Luis.
Thank you, guys. Have a good night.